Explore the wisdom of the revered Narada Bhakti Sutras, a cornerstone of Hindu devotion, with His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda. Experience 45 enlightening lessons on the essence of Bhakti Yoga. Discover the path to pure love for God and transcend the material world. Embrace the teachings that have guided devotees for centuries. Attain spiritual perfection through devotion. Prepare to understand the depths of divine love. Find your path to spiritual enlightenment. Trust in the sutras. Follow these instructions. Be blessed with devotion. And now, His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Our focus is on Bhakti Yoga Sadhana, the disciplines that are to be practiced by a devotee in order to attain supreme devotion. And that's the highlight of the teachings of Bhakti Yoga. Begin loving God. Allow your love to expand. It expands to such an extent that everything that you love is your insight penetrates the name and form and recognizes that you are loving God. You are not being distracted. Go ahead. God is the underlying reality. And therefore, become more mature and more of a well-developed type. Who loves someone who should serve that person. Your love should not create any hurtful situation. So that ideal has to be kept. If you don't have that, your love becomes a form of interdependence. And it has a condition. I love you, you have to be here. Go away, go to hell. But contrasted from that, think of the type of love, no matter where you go. My goodwill goes with you. Communicate with me. Put your fingers on your cell phone. So, if one were to perfect one's awareness of love and allow it to blossom, then you go to the highest, attain liberation. It's a universal religion. Something that no one had to teach anybody. You can go into a forest and you find the mother lion playing with the cub, even putting the whole cub into the mouth. And the cub is not afraid. Nobody has taught that. The soul has innate instinct to love, because soul is a reflection of God, and God is universal love, love absolute. So you can't live without love even for a moment. And now, on Bhakti Yoga, you are trying to gain more insight into how to allow your awareness of love to blossom. How much? The entire universe becomes little before the loving eye of a devotee. Can compare with the sun. The whole earth planet is illumined by the sun. But still it is a limited illustration. If your mind is stripped of egoistic vision and illumined by the light of divine love, there happens a magic. No matter where you love, where you turn, names and forms begin to disappear, and God begins to dance behind every name and form. That's the ideal. The project before an aspirant is to recognize God in every individual. Ghat ghat mein hai Sai Ramata. In every personality there dwells God. The Vedic terminology is called Vipashyana. In Buddhist religion, this has been well adopted. Vipashyana and Sampashyana. Vipashyana is to see God in every individual. So your mind sees in this wave, there is God. In that wave, there is God. In this personality, there is God. In that personality, there is God. In this experience, there is God. In that experience, there is God. There is God during the day, there is God during the night. There is God in adversity, God in prosperity. When we expand it, it becomes too much. But in a very practical way, develop the understanding God is in every individual. Therefore, you always exist in an atmosphere of satsanga. See, one of the rules of Bhakti Yoga, turn away from durjans, negative personalities. And having ready to say, I understand it, I must turn away. Now you are looking for, where are the durjans? And you can't determine where is the durjan, where are the negative personalities. Some simple solution is try to recognize the good quality in others. Something that you can appreciate and just ignore the negative ones. But when it comes to yourself, don't ignore the negative ones. That also within limit. Not to go after all the negative, because then you have to keep your mind sour for a long time. Only in a moderate way. Be patient when you deal with your negative quality. A mango that is sour cannot be ripened by force. Yeah, we can do that by scientifically. But in nature, it has to ripen by itself. In the same way, as you mature, as you evolve, negative qualities move away, positive qualities begin to develop. But your focus is more and more to develop positive qualities within yourself and not to become a detective about others' qualities. On the other hand, always look for the positive and you will find abundance. So, Vipashyana means every name and form. Underlying it, there is the divine self, God. Sampashyana means totality of the whole universe is an expression of God. The entire ocean is ocean. That's Sampashyana, most mature vision. And Vipashyana, every wave is the ocean. Twofold ideal is placed before your mind. That makes the world livable. In 47th verse, rather the sutra, Yo vivikta sthanam sevate, Yo lokabandham unmulayati, Nistraigunyo bhavati, Yogakshemam tyajati. Question is, who crosses over the Maya? Kastarati mayam. The world is an ocean of illusion. And every soul works in this ocean, is able to cross over few little illusions, but ocean of illusion continues. So as you move from one embodiment to another, you were a tiny wave, you became a little bigger wave. But then there is no security. You can again become a smaller wave. The goal is to cross over the entire ocean. And certain disciplines have been prescribed in order to do so. Yah sangans tyajati. He who renounces all attachments. Mahanubhavam sevate. He who serves great souls. What is popularly known as Guru Seva. Come to be guided by a spiritual preceptor and develop that spirit of service. And one who becomes free of the sense of mindness. Nothing is mine. Doesn't require any rationality, a great exercise of rationality, a simple understanding. Things around you, they will survive you. Your grandson will say, oh, this belonged to my mama, grandmother, or grandfather. It can be a simple pen. So, mindness, this is mine, or this belongs to someone. This form of thinking is maintained by mental illusion. Therefore, every mantra rings with that note, Nama, Na Mama, which means nothing is mine. And the other side of nothing is mine, adorations to God. When mindness moves away, then mind has invoked the presence of God. Yo vivikta sthanam sevate. He who takes recourse to solitary place. Yo lokabandham unmulayati. He who roots out bondage in reference to being dependent upon relatives, friends, and many things. Lokabandham, dependence on the world. He who transcends the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. He whose mind becomes free of two types of worries, two types of involvement. One is attaining what you don't have, always trying to get more. But another concern is protecting what you have. If you have a bucket with few holes in it, you go on asking for more and more water, but you are not protecting the water that gets inside. You have to have twofold concern. As you advance on the spiritual path, on the path of devotion, you leave that concern in the hands of God. You do your best. You always use your intellect to the best of its capacity, but not with that worry and anxiety, because God takes care of those. Once your mind has recognized God is this center, the goal, and you are sustained by God at every moment, and the entire world is in the hands of God. So, if you become more and more aware that you are coming closer to God, all things that are needed by you for your spiritual progress, for your comfort, for your happiness, for your harmony, all things will come to you in a spontaneous way. The word spontaneous is figurative. You will work hard for it, and you get it. And in your mind, what will occur? It came spontaneously. You made a very high jump. It was spontaneous. In other words, even the intense self-effort will be relished by you as a type of spontaneity. A child runs very fast and feels very happy. Sitting down in one place was boring. To tell a child, don't run, don't work hard. Mother is for you. She will give you everything. You don't have to do anything. That's a boring perspective. So the idea, your surrender to God, leave everything in His hands, doesn't give you the notion that you have to without any effort. You don't do any effort at all. But rather, your effort will be enhanced. Your capacity to work will become much more precise. You will become prompt, more dexterous in performance of your duties. And the more dexterous you are, internally you feel you did not put your finger on the typewriter, it just danced. And in that lies your awareness of God's presence. On the other hand, you do nothing. Go on repeating to yourself, I'm praying, and God is not listening. They say He has thousands of ears, but all ears are clogged. Vivikta sthanam sevate. To live in a solitary place. This all you have to understand in a profound way. All these statements are not to be taken in a literal way, just like renouncing all the durjans, negative personalities. If you take it literally, you have to run away from yourself also. Because there's a lot of durjan is within. Similarly, living in a secluded place where you can come closer to yourself and thereby closer to God. Of course, there is a practical value of being alone, away from others when you are doing your japa, your meditation. And sometimes it is suitable to stay away from the general style of life to recharge yourself by living in an ashram, in a general form of seclusion. But that is not the seclusion that we are talking about. Seclusion is a means to an end. That's perfectly normal. It's just like you need sometimes the help of doctors, sometimes hospitals, and so forth. But if a hospital has cured you, doesn't become the idea that you have to stay on there. Then what does it mean? In daily life, go on gathering positive impressions. If you live your life with practicing integral yoga, that means every type of yoga, little blended in your daily life. A little repetition of mantra, a little yoga exercises, a little prayer, looking into books, scriptures that inspire you, watching yourself, that you are maintaining a spirit of surrender, watching your behavior with others. Are you creating tension in others to the delight of your ego? All that done day by day, you are creating good impressions in your unconscious. Good impressions mean like you have created internally a wonderful room and have put wonderful blankets on it, a very costly carpet of beautiful impressions. When you have all that and devotion to God, you are alone. You sit on your couch. God has placed for you a wonderful TV. Your mind goes after the scriptural prayers. Everywhere you turn, there is nothing but the glory of God. And no one to distract you. Because you and God, that's all that exists. And if you look hard, even you don't exist. That's a journey to loneliness. Absolute aloneness. And when you do so, this journey becomes most delightful. But when you are forced to get into that state, it's most miserable. How are you forced? As you live day by day, illusions build up. So many people support me. How wonderful. The day by day, when you go to sleep, all supports move away from you. That God has fortunately given a dull mind. You don't recognize it. That all supports have been taken away. I'm not frightened by it. But then, when supports are taken away during death process, that's most frightening to human mind. Even though all the supports is renewed, the soul gets back into another wonderful body in very loving circumstances. You are in this world being tossed around. And each time the idea comes, may I be alone, it rings with a sense of pathos. I have to move away from so many good people, so many good things in the world. But if you explore your mind by japa, by meditation, you realize the simplest fact of life. You are always alone. Ask the sky, how many skies are there? Alone. Ask the ocean, how many oceans? Alone. Absolute fullness is one without a second. When you allow that understanding to enter your heart, it is the most joyous thing. Simple illustration, when you think you are going to have a wonderful sleep, it's a joyous thing. When you sleep, you are alone. You are not turning to your friends and others saying, "Are you sleeping? How far have you got into sleep?" Rather, you are sure nobody is around to disturb you. If this becomes well understood, then you handle two things: being alone as a joyous goal, and thereby being with everyone, entering into the heart of all. So you are all. Ahame Vedam Sarvam. I am all this, as well as Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. The world is illusion. So far about finding a good place. Otherwise, you are always in a state of contradiction. Someone tells you, go to Rishikesh, that particular place, it's a cave and it's very alone. Nobody disturbs. And you go there, and of course, I don't want to elaborate it, otherwise, all my lecture will go there. You are more crowded when you realize that there is no one around you to help you. 48th Sutra. Yah karma phalam tyajati karmani sanyasyati tato nirdvandvo bhavati. He crosses over the ocean of Maya, he who gives up the fruits of action, renounces actions themselves, and thus becomes free of dvandvas, pairs of opposites. Giving up fruits of actions. First, to understand that all your karmas go on creating their fruits. The fruits of karma manifest in the world of time and space. And all fruits of karmas are transient. You cannot gain anything as a result of karma, anything that can be enduring, permanent. So in the realm of karma, there is no liberation. Karma improves your circumstances, improves your comfort, gives you name, fame, power, highlights your personality. Good and bad situations can be possible by your karma. But your goal is not in the realm of karma. The goal is to attain liberation. So even if you were to possess fabulously great attainments, you have to possess the whole of earth and rule over it and keep clinging to the earth. One day the earth planet will be shattered. Too much of an imagination. Then why should a person do karma when you don't expect the fruit? Fact is, you have to handle. In practical world, you do expect, but you are not dependent upon it. You do not feel your whole life depends upon it. If you are a farmer, you are sowing trees of mango trees, you do expect the seeds are real mangoes and not something else. You do use all the necessary things And when you see the trees growing, you do expect the coming season to bring a lot of blossoms and lot of produce. But when we say don't expect, what it means, suppose things didn't happen the way you expect. The mangoes were filled with blossoms, but then came a blast of cold, chilly atmosphere. They were all destroyed. Your mind should not be upset. It's God's hands, but you have done your way part. And you have developed a different way of looking at things, that God wants to give you a little opportunity for introspection, not garden vision. So therefore, on one side, you do your duty in the most scientific way, rational way possible, and you keep your goal in view, what you want to accomplish by your action. On the other side, feel absolutely detached. You are not going to change because this project brings in success. You're not going to gain anything out of it. And if this project failed, you're not going to lose anything out of it, because you are not in the realm of gain and loss. The sky is not in the realm of gain and loss. Clouds come in, clouds move away. The sky remains untouched. Therefore, your attention is shifted from the fruits of karma to purity of heart. How you feel having performed your duties. When you become a karma yogi, gain and loss become alike. All that you are doing is to create closeness with God. And that closeness is possible by keeping your heart free of anger, hate, greed, and other all impurities, allowing the love to blossom in that heart. That being your priority, chitta shuddhi. In divine plan, your birth, the circumstances, the world you are placed in, all these are opportunities to promote chitta shuddhi. These are not opportunities to get a hold of possessions, secure it. If you can't secure it for yourself, secure it for your sons. If can't for them, then for grandsons, for great-grandsons. That's another chain of illusion. There again, as I said, from practical point of view, parents always secure. That is absolutely normal and absolutely commendable. But deep down in your heart, all this matters little. What matters is the purity of heart. As devotion goes on developing, fruits of action do not distract your mind, though you get the best of fruits possible. Chitta Shuddhi advances, increasing purity of heart. The next step, very advanced step, renouncing the karmas themselves. That occurs when you realize you are not the doer. God is working through you. The understanding I'm an instrument in divine hands. The flute does not develop that ego. If that were so, it can't. Melody will not flow. So there is a progressive movement. First, turn to Swadharma. What is the right type of action for it? Secondly, do not keep your attention bound to fruits of karma. Let your attention shift to purity of heart, chitta shuddhi. Thirdly, attain that state of enlightenment where all karmas are burnt up. No longer you are in the realm of karmas. You become liberated and thus become free of dvandvas. Dvandvas refer to pairs of opposites. It's this pair of opposites that keeps the mind like a pendulum. There's pleasure, mind swings in a particular way, feels very joyous. And there is frustrating situation, mind swings in another way. Pleasure and pain. Praise gives you great joy, mind swings in it. And now become very confident you are going to get praised everywhere. Someone frustrates you. Mind receives a great blow. Gain and loss. Prosperity and adversity. Sunshine and dark nights. The dvandvas, the world is filled with pairs of opposites. Yes, attaining success on the spiritual path depends upon the ability to keep your mind unshaken. Another term is used in Vedanta, samadhan. Mind doesn't find any contradiction. As there is a Upanishadic saying, tapantam na nindye tadvratam. It's too hot. Don't go on condemning it. That should become your vow. Varshantam na nindye tadvratam. It's too hot, but the next day, varshantam, lot of rain. When it didn't rain at all, your mind was quite agitated. Everyone who met, what hot, how hot, que color. It was too much rain, la monga. It's a Spanish word. It's catching the throat. So neither did you enjoy the immense shower of energy that the Earth planet received when it was hot. Boundless energy is being soaked. Countless germs are being eradicated. Immense supply of oxygen is being let out into the world. All that should have been a festivity. But your mind didn't enjoy that. Only went on saying, how miserable. Even though you have air conditioning, you have everything possible. And when it started raining, your mind was not thrilled to see how wonderful clouds came in. They were dancing in the sky and lightning, they were talking with lightning flashes, flashing from their mouths. And the whole nature was rejoicing. The trees were dancing. All that requires a little adjustment in the mind. The basic point to understand that this is the Maya, this is the Leela of God, God's sport. And every situation has a meaning for your evolution. If your car is going uphill, there's a meaning. Soon there will be downhill and it will go ups and downs, and that's how you go to a destination. When you are going up, you require caution. But when you're going down, you require more caution. So life is constantly being handled with skill. If that is learned, there are no dvandvas, there are no pairs of opposites. All situations are planned for your spiritual advancement. And your self-effort should continue. Continue to remove whatever you think it is adverse, continue to make changes. But always remembering God, bring God in every situation. And with this we conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.